Good afternoon. My name is Sean Clark, and since January 2nd, I have the great honors of serving as the Executive Vice Dean of the Rory Myers College of Nursing here at NYU. On behalf of Dean Eileen Sullivan-Marks and the leadership team, as well as the entire faculty, it is my great honor to welcome all of you to NYU Myers' 28th annual Estelle Osborne celebration. Today, as we do each year, we commemorate the contributions and legacy of Estelle Osborne, the first Black professor of nursing at NYU, as part of a series of events where Myers and NYU commemorate Black History Month. You'll hear more about Professor Osborne's life and legacy in Dr. Jemmott's remarks and in the second half of the program. But let me just say in a few words that on top of her pioneering role at NYU, Professor Osborne was a very important figure in American nursing, whose impact continues to be felt here in New York, nationally, and around the world in nursing. On a personal note, one of the great pleasures of the past 2 months since I began my position has been learning about all of the wonderful work done in various corners of our college. We're a college of nursing known for many achievements, and this has indeed been a great year at NYU Myers. We are a college of nursing this year that rose to the #5 rank in National Institutes of Health research funding for our faculty among colleges and schools of nursing across the country. This is a feat that not only reflects the brilliance of our faculty, to be sure, but also highlights the great support that has been built to help them present their innovative ideas for funding. And we should also note that our faculty's research is supported by an impressive, dazzling range of other funding sources beyond the NIH as well. We have graduate programs consistently ranked in the top 20 and even the top 10 in a country with so many excellent university nursing schools. Our faculty have practices and play leadership roles on the front lines and cutting edges of healthcare delivery, provide a stunning range of university, community, and global service, and are truly addressing the great and enduring challenges in our healthcare system in their scholarship and leadership. I am also incredibly impressed by our student body. While I knew that nursing at NYU had a very impressive and storied history, and I knew that our alums were a very proud and loyal group, I have been struck by the talent and energy of our wonderful student body. And I have been further impressed by how much it reflects the full range of diversity in American society and in this great city where we all come together. We and our sister nursing schools around the country can and must do better in recruiting and retaining aspiring nurses from diverse backgrounds and preparing nurses for advanced practice and leadership. Across nursing education in this country, we must continue to work towards ensuring the best experiences possible for all our students, guaranteeing that they feel a sense of connection and belonging to our programs and the profession regardless of their background. And we must also ensure that we update and adapt our teaching to equip today's and tomorrow's students for the challenges of optimally serving increasingly diverse patient populations and building healthier communities. But we have some wonderful indicators that we're right on track here at NYU Myers. For instance, as you may know, approximately 40% of the US population is a member of a racial or ethnic minority group. But recent research data show that only 27% of registered nurses identify as a member of a race or ethnic group other than white non-Latino. According to data from our Office of Student Affairs and Admissions for both the spring and the fall of 2018 about students who provided us with information about their race and ethnicity, almost 50% of our graduate students and nearly 60% of our undergraduate student body identifies as non-white. From a student body standpoint, NYU Myers is a majority-minority college of nursing. And numbers like this don't tell the whole story, but as I said, we're far from the end of our journey, but this snapshot says a lot about the efforts and commitment of our staff and faculty. And I am so very proud to work here with you all. Now, without further ado, it's my great honor to host the first half of our program this afternoon, a keynote address by a wonderful speaker, Dr. Loretta Jemmott. She is one of the nation's foremost researchers in the field of HIV/AIDS prevention, having led teams that have had the longest and most consistent track records in the field, supported by over $100 million in federal funding. Dr. Jemmott is, without exaggeration, an outstanding translational and community engagement researcher who has had extensive global, national, and international impact. Her work in creating, refining, evaluating, and adapting theory-driven, culturally appropriate, evidence-based HIV risk reduction interventions has changed public policy in relation to sexual health and risk reduction in community and clinical settings in all 50 states in this country and in nations around the world. In addition to fellowship in the American Academy of Nursing, she has received numerous prestigious awards, including the U.S. Congressional Merit Award and election to membership in the Institute of Medicine, both honors accorded to an elite few health science researchers and academics and an even smaller group of very, very talented nurse leaders and scholars. She has partnered with many community-based organizations and translated her research findings for use in a wide range of real-world settings. She is currently Vice President for Health and Health Equity at Drexel University and a professor in Drexel's College of Nursing and Health Professions. In her current role, she focuses on improving health equity in the Philadelphia neighborhoods that are Drexel's home, and where the university has committed to working with residents and community leaders to improve quality of life. On a personal note, I have had the privilege of knowing Dr. Jemmott nearly 2 decades, first meeting her when I was a postdoctoral fellow and a junior researcher, and she was well into her trailblazing career and accomplished trajectory as an academic leader at the University of Pennsylvania and its School of Nursing. So I know her not only in terms of all those wonderful things I just told you about, but I also know her as the very essence of a grounded, compassionate, socially engaged scientist who has an infectious sense of fun and a fabulous sense of humor, and somebody who has, for me, been a true academic role model. I was thrilled to discover that she was a great friend of NYU's, whose connections and contributions to NYU Myers are destined to continue, and we will make sure this happens. So, I know you will be inspired and entertained by her remarks today. Dr. Jemott's keynote this afternoon is entitled Designing and Implementing Evidence-Based, Community-Engaged Research Based on Hearing Their Voices, Lessons Learned from Estelle Osborne. I give you Dr. Loretta Sweet Jemmott.
Wow. Thank you so much. Good afternoon, everybody. It is such an honor and indeed a pleasure to be here today. And so I'm going to be talking to you about my work, and I'm so short that you can't see me. And this is so unfair. So you know I'm going to come on down in a minute. Those who know me know they can't hold me back. So I just want to see, before I get started, how many of you are students at NYU School of Nursing right now? Where's my students? I need students to raise their hands high. Raise it like I'm a proud student. Okay, where are my alumni from NYU? Raise your hand. Okay, where's my faculty from NYU? Where's my guests that are here to hang out and celebrate? All right now. And so, did I miss out anybody? Student, staff, NYU staff. Yes, I love my staff. I got you. All right, and so I got alumni, I got students, I got staff, I got people who are visiting, and I got my girlfriend who came my way from Philly with me. Thank you, Marcy, for traveling with me. All right, so now, wow, it's a pleasure. So I'm going to talk to you a little bit about my work and a little bit about what I did in the past and what I'm doing currently. But I'm looking in the room and I'm seeing some smiling faces, some good old colleagues and friends that I haven't seen. Joyce, it's good to be here. Wow, I'm in New York. All right, so now I'm coming down. I did my New York thing. Dun, 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 dun. Okay, I am really a scholar. I'm really serious. So let's talk a little bit about what I'm here to talk to you about. So if I go too fast, please slow me down. Just slow me down this way. You don't have to say, she's going too fast. Just do this. I know you're slowing me down. You're not waving at me. You're saying slow down, and then I will respond. But if you don't slow me down, this girl will roll. All right, you with me? I'm with you? And I like people talking to me. All right, so this is not like a lecture and it's boring. We're in this together. You with me? Yes. All right. And so let's push the button. But who are we? How many of you are nurses? Let me see my nurses' hands. Whoa. Those who aspire to be nurses, raise your hand too. Yeah. And so who are we? Who are we in this room today? Who are we? Come on, button, push. And who are we to the community we serve? Just think about that. As clinicians, who are we? And then who are we to the people we're trying to serve in our neighborhood, in our communities, around the nation, around the globe? We are clinicians, and we are the patient's experience. How they receive us is critically important. So how we treat them is what they remember. So when people leave the hospital, they don't remember the medicine, the treatment, they remember how that nurse made me feel. And so that's our job, to remember that as clinicians, it's not just to be the excellent, it's the person that's going to make the person feel good and remember the experience. And based on how you make them feel will determine whether they take that medicine when they go home. How they're going to eat better, exercise more, based on what you said to them. So our words are important. So we are the clinicians, but we also, and we're busy. We give voice to the voiceless and hope to the hopeless. And that is what we do. That is who we are, and we can never forget that part. Are you with me? Yes. How many of my churchgoers are here? How many churchgoers are here? Say amen. Amen. All right, I like it now. All right, so remember this. And so, well, who was Estelle? Come on. And what did we learn from her? Where's her family at? Oh, shucks. Stand up, y'all. Let's give them a round of applause. We got family members here. Thank you for joining us today. Thank you, thank you. And so, who was she? You know, and I was playing around thinking about her. Well, of course, she's a black nurse. Wow. We know she's a black nurse, but check this out. Bam. Whoa, my curtain draws. She's bad. She did all this stuff. Listen, she's the first black nurse to graduate from MSN from here in 1945. I'm not going to read all those bullets. You guys can read. Just check it out. She's a bad girl. She was a bad girl, and she led the way for us to be bad girls and bad boys. And so she paved the way, but most importantly, throughout her career, she dedicated herself to improving the options available to black nurses across the country. Am I on? Am I on? Can you hear me? Okay, come on. Her goal was to ensure that we receive just as high a caliber of education as our white counterparts. I done pushed the button the wrong way. Oops, what'd I do? Okay. Do you understand her power and what she did and what she stands for is important? And so we got to remember that she just wasn't a black woman who graduated from NYU. She's a black woman who made a difference, who was committed to making a difference for all of us. And so she's a bad girl. And then here, so, but what did we learn from her? What did we learn from her and her sacrifices and her push? Like that? Wasn't that cute? We learned these P's. We learned to have passion about our work. You know, and these are my P's for success. And I never met her, but I feel her spirit. And so the first P, and I'm telling you all this now, so what's my students, remember these, because these are the P's that's going to get you up in the morning. And these are the P's that's going to help you be successful. The first thing is passion. And I can't talk down here. I got to move this thing. Can somebody move this down a little bit, because I'm like this. The first thing is passion. And I move the button again. Okay. Yeah, better. First thing is passion. You got to really feel passionate about your work. When you get up in the morning and put your bra and panties on and your shirt on and your undershirt on, you gotta feel good about going to work and feel energized. If you're not feeling passionate about what you're doing, you might as well go back to bed. You might as well not go to the job that day. But if you gotta feel passionate about what turns you on, because that's gonna impact what you do when you get there. So passion is the first thing. Am I passionate? You can feel it. Feel my passion, I should feel yours too. The next thing is purpose. What is our purpose? You know, you got to have a purpose when you get up and purpose in what you do. And so you came to nursing for a reason. Why are you a nurse? Why you want to be a nurse? What do we do? What's our purpose? And so you got to have a purpose in mind as we grind to do this daily thing we do. Must have purpose. And if you don't understand your purpose, sit down, spend some time just thinking about who you are, and read the book Becoming. How? Because Michelle talks about we're all in the process of becoming something. And what are you trying to be? And who are you trying to be in terms of purpose? Think about your purpose. You got to plan. If you don't plan, you're not going to be successful. What's the statement? Poor planning leads to poor performance? You got to plan. And next one is you got to be persistent and got to persevere. What she taught us is that there's a lot of no's in the world today. There's blocks up there. There's mountains that get in the way of our success. There's things that just stop us. And so, we cannot let these mountains stop us. What she taught us is that we got to learn how to get around those mountains, and that no only means no for sex. Oh, that's the only no. Other no's mean maybe. Are you with me? So every time you get a no, you gotta say, I'm getting around that no. We believe in mountain movers. We gotta be we go around, go up, go down, go under, but you keep moving, because she taught us to push. She taught us to push. And she taught us that we're not alone, that we gotta have people and teams to help us do this work that we do. And then she taught us to have a positive attitude, because you gotta have a positive attitude. And then she taught us, you gotta pray. Because if you believe, you gotta believe, because he is the one who is the mountain mover. And so, because you can't move those mountains by yourself. Are you with me? Yes. All right, so you got my P's? Use them, swallow them, write them down, but use them, because you can be who you want to be too. All right? And so, but how do we build healthy communities to reduce health disparities? That's what I do. We want to, well, what is community engagement? And community engagement is a powerful process of working collaboratively with the community for the benefit of the community. Now, I had this course when I was in graduate school. A little bit about me. I'm a first-generation college kid from Philadelphia. Drink some water. Went to Temple University, and they told me, no, I couldn't be a nurse. First nurse might tell me, I can't be a nurse, we're joking. So I transferred to Hampton Institute. And they said, you want to be a nurse, little sister? We're here to help you be a nurse. I said, I'm here. I transferred, went to Hampton, graduated, became a nurse, came back to Philly. Did my thing, went to Penn for my master's degree. Now, people who look like me didn't go to Penn for the master's degree. They went to Penn for the Penn relays. But we didn't go to graduate school there. So here I am. I'm at Penn, I got a master's degree. And then my mother said, oh, my Lord Jesus, she's going to go back to school. I went back to school one more time and get a PhD. And my mother was like, oh, my gosh, she can get a PhD without getting an MRS. Ain't no man going to want to marry her. Poor mother. Thank God I did find a man in graduate school, so hallelujah, I did get married. But to make a long story short, you keep going. You use those P's to push yourself through, like no matter what. And so community engagement is critical. And when I was in graduate school, I took this course, and the professor's name was Eli Anderson. He wrote this book called The Code of the Street. And he talks about, if you want to work with a given population, you must take the time to understand the code of their street. Not your street, their street, so that you can get them to move forward. So you got to understand why people do what they do. All behavior has meaning. Where's my psych people? Y'all know that all behavior has meaning. It all comes together for a purpose. And so if you understand that why people walk the way they walk, talk the way they talk, pants down, shirt up, this down, whatever people are doing, instead of judging, understand it. Because all behavior has meaning, and it's understanding their code of their street to help them change their behavior to do the health things you want them to do. Are you with me? Code of the streets. And so why do we do this kind of work, and how is it important? The top 10s, So here they go, woohoo! The top 10 benefits of doing community engagement work. 1, it helps build trust. 2, it connects people. 3, it builds capacity. 4, it makes better decisions. 5, it reveals real issues. 6, it gives community ownership to the stuff. 7, is conflict prevention. You come to the community without coming to them the right way, you got conflict. And so it focuses on social justice and equity, develops new leaders, because people think the community don't know nothing, that we the baddest dogs out here, that the community don't know. You better connect with the community and understand that the community has power, the community has voice, the community is smart. And they want to work with you too, but you got to treat them with respect, treat them in the right way. And so it helps with outreach. And the top 10, I just don't know how to count them, because I made 11. It's just the right thing to do. Are you with me? Yeah. All right, let's keep it going. Woohoo! Bam. So out of all the work I've learned, this is my 8 T's for community engagement. And if you want to work with the community, or whether you're working with the community in your hospital, in your neighborhood, on your floor, or wherever you are, you got to understand that all these things take time to do. So first, you got to take the time to get to know people in your community. You got to really invest time in your community. So once you get the time, you got to do the time, because you got to build the trust. They're not going to trust you. One time they called me an Oreo. Whoa! I said, what? Me an Oreo? And my husband's about to say, what? So I had to set him down. And so I said, well, tell me why you call him a psych nurse. Can you tell me more? And so they said, you black on the outside, but you white on the inside because you work at Penn. So I had to spend some time. So how can I help you see that I'm trustworthy? So I have to spend more time with them. You see what I'm saying? So just because I'm black don't mean I'm in. It's about spending the time to build the trust and being transparent. Because people can see right through you from the community. So you got to be transparent. You got to talk to them and with them and not at them. So you get them in the conversations, and then you build a team from within. Because the community wants to be part of your team too. We scholars think we know it all, and we can write these grants and engage them. No way. Engage the community, put them on your grants, work with them and help you do your thing you're trying to do. Because why? They got talent too. The community has talent, and you gotta have tenacity. You can't give up. You know, when the community, you knock on the door, they say, what you want? Go away. Back again, not again, here she comes again. It's me, I'm back again. That girl ain't going nowhere. You stay at the door, you stay at the table, you don't leave, because they see that you stay there, oh, she's good. You see what I'm saying? And the last one is, again, thorough and consistent prayer. You with me? Are you with me? Yeah. All right, let's keep it going then. How did I use this approach in my HIV research? And like Sean said, I was doing HIV research for a long time. But how did I use this? I used these 6 steps. I'm blessed. I was blessed in terms of the research that I did, that I was able to do these steps, hanging out, focus groups, learning the code of the streets of everybody, hearing their voices, developing a questionnaire, based on the questionnaire, designing an intervention, pilot tested, and evaluated using a randomized control trial. Every time I did another grant, I did all these steps all over again. I would put my jeans on and my cap to the back and hang out with these teenage boys, and they never knew I was in my 50s. And now I'm 60s out there doing it. They don't know because I'm grooving right with them, because I'm doing my code of my streets. I'm hanging out with them. I'm sitting down, and so you got to do what you got to do to get what you want to move people forward. Are you following me? Am I talking too fast? All right, just stay with me now. And if it works, you do the hallelujah dance. Woo! And then you want to disseminate it to end users. Are you with me? Yeah. Okay, so let me hear music. I thought it was. My first intervention was effective because of Jemmott innovation. It reduced HIV sexual risk behavior among black male teenagers. It was published in the American Journal of Public Health in 1992. It put us on the map in terms of prevention interventions. And so we kept going, we replicated it, and I got more money. And so my husband and I was blessed to have gotten over $150 million in NIH funding over the 20 years of our scholarship together. Wow, you can clap if you want to. You can clap if you want. So, but we were successful because we did the steps. You see what I'm saying? And then these are all of the curriculums that have been effective. I'm going to say this real fast, and you can follow me. We have done about 14 randomized controlled trials with large people, not just 8 or 10 people, like 500 in one study, 700 in a different study, 1,200 in a different study, following them 3, 6, and 12 months later, some with biological outcomes, looking at STD incidence and pregnancy and behavior, or some just with self-report. These articles have been published in high-level journals, in the Journal of American Medical Association, nursing research, public health, top-tier stuff. What happened was researchers from CDC and would look into research and the material. They would go to a library and identify articles that said interventions were effective. And they would put them on their website for people to use around the country. So back in the early 2000s, the CDC had a program called Research to Classroom Programs That Work, and identified 3 evidence-based curriculums. 2 of mine. Oh. And then in 2005, Obama gave money, $100 million, to the Department of Health and Human Services to create the Office of Adolescent Health. And at that time, they said they were fund community agencies, schools, churches around the country who wanted to reduce teenage pregnancy. But to do that, they had to write their grants to them and choose one of the 22 evidence-based curriculums. That's how policy gets impacted. You see now science is now leading to policy decisions to say you got to use evidence-based practice. And guess what? Out of the 22, 9 were mine. And I was the only nurse until Anthony Villarreal came up with Crudite, and so Crudite is up there. So it's exciting. And so people wrote grants all over. And so the first year we were training, we was going across the country training, doing these models. We had essay contests called. I'm going too long. I'll tell you about the essay contest over lunch because I only got a few times. Because you're not going to go, this is what happened. Whoa. In 2010, they sent the RFA out again, and then this got doubled. We were traveling to Hawaii, and there was adapting our curriculum. It was called Making Proud Choices and Making Pono Choices. We were in Alaska. We were in Iowa. And we learned lots of strategies that we were able to adapt it along the way for cultural issues and reasonings and videos, but it still works today. Okay, I'm changing the subject now. Then I started doing stuff in community settings with churches. We did a randomized control trial in 15 Black Baptist churches in Philadelphia for abstinence, teaching mothers how to talk to their kids. We did a study in housing developments in Philadelphia, teaching single African-American mothers how to talk to their sons about HIV risk reduction. And we did stuff in the clinical setting called Sister to Sister, the 20-minute model, and all of them are efficacious. In this study, we never talked to the son. We had about 700 mothers and 700 sons participate, only talked to the mothers. And mothers did the intervention for 4 Saturdays in a row right in their community room. And the sons came back with the mothers 3, 6, and 12 months later, and the intervention worked. We didn't even talk to the boys. But we partnered with Rite Aid to help them get condoms. And so condom distribution became a thing. And it was powerful. Partnered with the Urban League, partnered with the Housing Development, and that's how you get things to happen in the community. You mobilize them to partner with you as a scholar. Churches, though, the pastors had to, I'll talk to you, pastor, about how we got the pastors aboard, but it's abstinence. And the church one. So here we go. And then I did stuff in barbershops, teaching barbers how to talk to brothers about safe sex. It's called Barbers Building Better Brothers. We were in 52 barbershops across the city of Philadelphia doing a randomized control trial, and we had about over 700 guys in the study. Followed them 3, 6, and 12 months later with a great retention rate, and we're analyzing that data now. And then in Africa and Botswana, we're doing the same thing there. And so hearing their voices, taking the time, building a team, took us a year and a half to get our groundwork in South Africa started, to walk around, to understand the neighborhood, to go to the mall, to the stores, to the things. And then my curriculums are video-based. So we got down in South Africa, and we were ready to do the video, hired a company, and got down there and found out there was no electricity in the schools. So we had to change our hip-hop video to a hip-hop comic book, because there's a storytelling community. So we learned more about how to do stuff in different cultures. Awesome time, having fun. Learned a lot. So Botswana, South Africa, and Jamaica. And how am I using this now? Okay, right now, oh, that's me up there as a baby. You know, I'm first generation from the neighborhood, really from the hood, from impoverished community. That's who I am, that's who I am, and that's where I'm from. And that's where I'm having an opportunity to give back right now. And so here, we used to play hopscotch. If y'all my age, y'all know what those pictures mean. If y'all not, y'all missed out on something. But Obama designated several sections around the country as promise zone neighborhoods. They're impoverished neighborhoods that really have low income, poor schools, poor housing, everything is bad. And so the promise zone is right outside of Drexel's door. So President Fry hired me to help to do this. I'm going to show you a video in a minute. And so these are all the other 22 promise zones around the nation. There's not one here. But Camden is near us, so y'all can think about how to partner and keep going. But what is my role? I'm designed to partner with the community to identify and implement programs, but together we're doing it. So I'm hearing the voices of the community and designing programs based on their voices. You with me? Now I'm going fast. I feel myself going fast. Y'all still not saying nothing to me. It's okay? Yeah. All right. This is my guys. So how did I do this? These are my strategies. I reviewed all the data from the city from the city health department. Then I had a kickoff meeting inviting all the 10 neighborhood leaders together. We had over 100 people come. That was awesome to see if they liked my idea. Not to say I'm doing this. I said, hey, this is what I'm thinking about. Is this okay? And they got buy-in, so they said, cool. So they gave me good. And so then we met with community leaders in the first neighborhood. Then we created a call to action plan, conducted the call to action plan. And then if people didn't come, we did focus groups. And then we did one-on-one sessions if they didn't come. And then we analyzed the data, conduct community leader meetings to give them the feedback, met with the agencies that provide help with me, and then did a call to action too, which means I'm giving the data back to the community. Community say, y'all come and study us all the time and y'all never come back. So we got to figure out how do we go back, because then they will work with us better if we continue to do better, to get better. You know what I mean? And then we design initiatives together. So that's what I'm doing in Philadelphia right now. Busy work. No more randomized control trials. No more questionnaires. People said they're tired of surveys. They said, talk to me. Talk to me. They said, you said, Doc, you're not doing research, because I want to do a town hall meeting. They said, that sounds like research. I said, what should I call it? They said, call a call to action. I said, okay. I said, I want to do some focus groups. They said, Doc, that sounds like research. They said, what to call it then? They said, call it community conversations. I said, but I want to do some one-on-one key informant interviews. They said, oh, Doc, no. Call it coffee time. And so they designated, and stop giving us pizza and hoagies. We want real hot food. We want, treat us like you want us to treat you. Whoa. So I was doing all that in the neighborhoods. I talked to over 600 people in Manchester and Powelton Village doing street outreach in the community. And now we just finished this whole initiative in 10 neighborhoods and talked to almost 1,000 people. Whoa. So that's that real fast. And here we go. Was we engaged? How to organize it? By age and by gender? Was I listening? They said, once we gave them the data, they said we wanted a hub, somewhere we can go to. And I said to President Fry, they want a hub. They want this data to come out to mean something. He said, let's build it. You got the data. They said they want it. Let's do it. So the Community Wellness Hub is designed to heal the community, residents through preventive care, unite the community, and bridge the community. And so now, with further ado, I'm going to show you my hub. I'm going to hit it whenever. Oh, and I'm going to do it. How do I do it? Come on, partner. Oh, good.
President Fry hired me. One of the issues that I wanted to focus on was the health of the community. Okay. And so Promise Zone is right here outside of Drexel's door. Promise Zone was designated by Obama as an area, a location people are in poverty, no income, no education, schools, families, everything was poor. And so we're trying to figure out what to do about that with no health care. And so I decided to focus on something that we could do around health. Right now, I'm Vice President at Drexel University, focusing on health and health equity, and I'm also a professor in the College of Nursing and Health Professions. Before I came here to Drexel, I was a professor at the University of Pennsylvania School of Nursing for 20 years. And I grew up here in the community of West Philadelphia. One initiative that I created when I came to Drexel was called We're Here Because We Care, Building Healthy Communities Together. And what we wanted to do in that initiative was to identify the health issues and concerns that the community residents had and what we could do about it. So the top 7 health issues now I can tell you. One is chronic diseases. Anything that leads to hypertension, heart disease, cancer, asthma, all things are long-term illnesses that impact our community. The second one was behavioral health. All the mental health issues in our community, depression, sadness, pain, schizophrenia, drugs, violence, all those things that impact our community fall under behavioral health. Third was environmental health, how we live, what our houses look like, our house is safe, the buildings and the structure and the community environment. So environmental health was a real big issue, plus aging in place for elderlies. The next one was access to care. People were terribly concerned about how they're going to get their medical care. There was nowhere to go, and they had long lines. They weren't treated good. They wanted somewhere to go to make it better. And another one was sexual health, HIV, AIDS, teenage pregnancy, all the things that go with the diseases that are coming out today that are impacting our community. Another one was physical activity. People don't know where to go to get physical activity, to be safe walking in the streets, and what could it do for their health around that. And finally, access to healthy food. We live right here in a desert where there's no food for the community. There's no neighborhood supermarket. There's all these fast foods or high salt intake places in this neighborhood, these little corner stores that impact how we do. One lady said to me in my conversation with her, she said, Dr. Jemmott, I cannot even get an apple or a birthday card in my neighborhood. And that's pretty bad. So what we wanted to do was to do something about those 7 health issues in this community. Well, the hub is unique is because it's community driven. It was all community voice, it's all community based. It's here because the community wanted to be here. And the services that we design are based on what the community told us to do. How do we change perspective? It's only by engaging. The more we do community engaging and talking to people about their health is the only way to do it. And do it in a unique kind of way. People will change their behavior and improve their health if they really believe that the practitioner or the community leaders in the clinic really care about us. And so in this community wellness hub, we're here because we care. And we're trying to do things that impact the community in a wonderful way based on hearing their voices. When you design something like this, you're always worried about sustainability and how it's going to really last. So right now, this is a pilot program. We're only here 3 days a week trying to see if this really can happen. And we're so excited because it's feeling good and the community is liking it. And so we're thinking that we got to make sure that we continue to partner with the community to do it, partner with some community agencies in the community that really want to do it, partner with other healthcare providers, and then the Drexel kind of leaders. So we're looking at sustainability.
I'm gonna keep going. That's enough teaser for you. How you like it? You can say you like it, don't you? Okay. So what else did we learn from this awesome lady? What else did we learn? So we learned from I learned as I was reading all that stuff that, we learn from those we follow and from those who we lead. So it's this thing here, we follow and we leading. So it's a process of we learning from both angles, not just one. And that novice nurses need paths to follow. So learning from those who have done it before is what people really want. And that's why we're here. And so, this is what I like the best. It's about passing the baton. She passed the baton to a lot of different people who then passed the baton to me. I am standing on the shoulders of greatness. And so when I was a high school girl, I was a track runner. I looked like, I was a runner. And so I was fast. And my coach told me, slow down, Loretta, you're fast, but you might make us lose the race. I said, how? He says, not how fast you win the race. It's how smooth you pass the baton. You got it? So you can run and drop it. You can run and mess up. But if you pass that baton, you see it? You got to be ready. You got to grab it. You got to get it. So all of us need to be ready to get the baton, and then ready to pass the baton. Are you with me? Yeah. And so it's important that we do that. As I looked over my journey of sisters along the way, I see some awesome baton passes up here. Look at this, from Harriet Tubman to all these, look at these ladies. And then I'm down here because I'm standing on their shoulder of greatness. And so we can also think about this. These are ladies who passed away. Now, Elizabeth Carnegie up there, I love her because she found Hampton Institute, nursing school. So these ladies all did several things to lead the way. And so Sojourner Truth was a nurse. Come on, these are nurses that are here. And Rear Admiral Trent, Adams, she's awesome. So we got Linda Burns Bolton. Look at these ladies. So we got the ones that passed away before, and then we got some trailblazers here today that are still alive. And so, learn from the history, but work with the present so that we can build the future. Are you with me? All right, let's keep this party going. And look at this. This is NYU. This is NYU. I said, let me see what you do here at NYU. And so you got faculty. I put these ladies here because they're my Penn connections, So they came from Penn with me. I know them from the Penn days. But look at this. We got men in nursing. We got this. We got programs. Come on, guys. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's pass the baton. But as we work together, you got to remember couple things. There's always more to the story. There's always more to the story. It's about trust and relationships, how we build them, how we sustain them, and how well we work together with them. Are you with me? People long to be celebrated, not tolerated. Celebrate me, don't just tolerate me, in my differences. And it's also about how we never give up. And my last thing here is, if you want to go fast, you go alone. Is everybody trying to go so fast? Nobody following you. But if you really want to go far, you go together. One of my postdocs, my doctoral student gave me this from Ghana, and so it's so powerful. But then I like this. When things go tough, as they sometimes do, you got to remember the Little Red Engine. Now, how many of you read the book, The Little Red Engine? Come on, guys. Oh, yeah. All right. So if you didn't, I'm going to give you a little review. You ready? Because I'm going to close out on this engine. Woo! The little blue engine sitting over there saying, that Osborne lady, I'm not helping nobody. I'm too tired. I'm not going to be passing no baton. I'm not going to do it. I'm just tired. And the little red engine's over here, and it's fussing at NYU people. Get off my train. Get off my engine. And so the blue engine's kicking y'all butt, telling NYU to get out of here. And however, here's the little red engine says, come on, everybody. Get on my train. Because why? I think I can. I know I can. And so the little red engine is saying, come on, NYU, get on this train. Get on this train. College of Nursing School, listen, do your thing. Make it happen. Make a difference. Connect with the people. Make an impact. Pass the baton, but never give up. You hear me? Woo! Let's carry out her legacy. Thank you. Oh, I have a few minutes for questions. Yes. I almost forgot that. I was going to sit down. Questions, anybody, anywhere. And don't be shy. Okay.
So you mentioned a lot of the...
Thank you for your speech. I can't hear you. Is this... Speak this way.
Okay, you mentioned that you had a lot of community programs. Of all the programs you've done, which has been the most challenging?
The most challenging program that I've done is working now?
Yeah, it's working. Yeah, it's working.
Wow.
Technology.
Wow. Most challenging. I think they all have had their challenge in different kind of ways. It could be trying to figure out how do you get people to listen to you. How do you get people to buy into your concept? So when I started this initiative in West Philadelphia, I didn't know whether they was going to buy into it or not. But I had to talk to people to hang out enough to do that. And it took me a while, but I did those T's. And so even in Africa, when I was trying to find my way, I was pulling my hair out, but we stayed in there. You see what I'm saying? And so when I started as are you a student or faculty? Tell me who you are. Family member. Okay. Thank you. Everything in the community is hard to do, everybody. And so if I could say starting a new study is hard, starting a new study is hard. If I find a new population to work with is hard, finding a new population is hard. Every step along the way is hard. But what you do is you embrace it and take it on without saying it's too hard for me to do. So every step, and it goes with everything you do, you're going to find out that this stuff is just too hard to do. I'm not going to do it anymore. But you can't go there. You gotta just bundle up and just keep going through it. Move that mountain, and it'll work. So I would say all of them have had their challenges. Good question. Come on, guys, more. I'm gonna point to you in a minute if y'all don't say nothing. Hi, come on. Anybody got a question? Yes.
When you did the study with the young men and their moms, what was the purpose of, what was it you wanted behaviors that they wanted to change in their sons?
Good question. Now that study was hard because we had to figure out who to partner with. So we wrote the grant with the Urban League and we wrote the grant with the Philadelphia Housing Department. So they gave us inroads into because Philadelphia had 42 housing developments. And we wanted to be in all 42 of them. That's when we had high rises and stuff like that. So we were doing a study to teach single moms how to talk to their sons about safe sex behaviors. And the control group got programs that eat better, exercise, stop smoking, and stop using drugs. So we had a randomized control trial, half on safe sex, and the other half on other issues. However, we also wanted the mothers to change their behaviors. Because what the sons is doing is looking at the mothers. So it's modeling, monitoring, supervision. So how are you going to tell me to do something if you're not doing it? And so in that household, we had to change the dynamics in the family and the connections. And it was called Mothers and Sons Strengthening the Bond. Every study had a T-shirt and a theme. And so we had over 1,200 mothers and sons in the housing developments. And so one day, the director of the housing authority said he went to the laundromat, and he said he saw all these daggone T-shirts walking around. So we was mobilizing the feeling in the community about engaging with your son. And we never talked to the son. And he came to the session, we let the pre-test measures, and I asked him, do you want to stay hang out with your mother? You want to go back to your room? I'm going back to my room. And so you got to do your homework. Then when mommy comes with homework, so mother had homework. Mother's homework to go home and teach what we teach her. Mother's homework was to go change her behavior with her boyfriend and her man who her son's watching. Mother's homework was to go talk to her sons about her partners, his partners. Mother's homework was to teach him how to use a condom. And so we was not going to be the condom distribution people. We was going to be the condom education and skill building. But we partnered with Rite Aid, and so Rite Aid gave us condom coupons for us to give the mothers to go to Rite Aid, which Rite Aid was in 2 blocks of every housing development in Philadelphia. And so that partnership with Rite Aid really helped us out. Mothers went and got their condom to talk to their own partner, but also got it to teach their sons. And then gave extra condoms to their sons that way to empower them to go and get them. Awesome study. We're so excited. We just hope it gets published. It's under review right now. We followed them 3, 6, 12, and 18 months later with an 80% return rate, 82% return rate. So, next question. Yes. Thank you.
Hi, so I work in labor and delivery, and a recent study came out that black mothers in the hospital have 50% higher chance of dying from like birth complications. I was wondering if you have any insight to like how we could change that, what problems you think could exist in the community right now that contribute to that fact?
It's really a health disparity issue, and it's horrible. And it's how do we work with that? So how do you change behavior? How do get mothers to be educated? Are they teenage mothers or older mothers? Is it an age group? What you say? Across the board. Yeah, it's really, it's in my community too. We were talking about that the other day. It's how do you prevent some of that stuff? It's really about finding out what's going on. Is it substance abuse? Is it something that's going on with the mothers? What's going on? Are these healthy mothers, healthy babies? What's happening? So I'm not in that area of research, but it's really important for us to understand what are those social determinants that's impacting this mother and her child and her environment. What is her home like? What is her life like? What is her stress level like? You know, because there's so many things that make us do like this and blow us down and blow us down, and then we got a baby, and then all that stuff never. It's like I was talking to a colleague this morning, and sometimes what happens is the air gets sucked out of people, and sometimes these women in labor and delivery got so many other issues that the air just get pulled out, and sometimes they just need somebody to blow air in them to help them keep on. So we got to look at the dynamics of what's happening in those families, find out what's really doing, find out how we can work together to make an impact and make a coalition about it, move that mountain and move the coalition. I empower you, my brother, to go and do something about it in your community. Start something and figure it out. But if you see anybody down, if you see anybody going through anything in your neighborhood, on your floor, in your class, I empower you to blow air in people. What did I say? All you got to do is this. You hear me? Blow the air in people so they can grow and soar and be. Where's my students at in here? Student nurses, raise your hand. Act like y'all students. Y'all need air all the time, we know. So don't give up, you know, so we understand the process. And so that's a good question, good question. Next, back over here, yes.
Yeah, just to piggyback on what he asked you, one of the things besides all the social determinants and other things that happen in the community is the providers need to be educated to listen to these women when they say, this is, you know, something's not right. They are just written off and say, you okay? And they don't listen to them. Because if you look at the African-American women that are supposedly well-to-do, like Serena Williams, that they didn't even listen to her, someone else from, you know, a lesser privileged background may not have the wherewithal or feel empowered enough to speak up and say, well, you know, you need to listen to me, because they don't know. So a big part of it is that the providers need to be educated to listen to the women when they tell them something is wrong.
I think you're so correct, and that happens in my community too. That always came up. That's an access to care issue in terms of getting providers to be more sensitive, but I am going to empower you with this piece. You should never let somebody go to the doctor by themselves. Because everybody needs somebody to hear what the person said to you, so that you can, you know, stand up for them, fight for them, or be their voice. Because when you go to the doctor and the doctor's telling you stuff, you're so anxious and you're not really hearing, that you done got home and forgot what they said and they treated you real bad. But if you are there with them, you're their mouthpiece and their ear. And also, what I also empower you to do, if you're going through a situation that anything happens and you treat it unfairly, phone a friend. Somebody got a friend somewhere that got some power somewhere. So you don't suffer alone. You know, I have a colleague, a girlfriend of mine, her daughter was being treated unfairly. It was horrible how they was treated. She finally phoned a friend. She phoned me. When that phone call came, I phoned somebody else. And that person phoned somebody else. And that care got taken care of. Because it's all about phoning a friend. Do not suffer alone. And my mother was going through a thing. I phoned a friend who phoned another friend who came in and stood up for my mother. You see what I'm saying? It's if you can't stand up for this person yourself, phone a friend. And if you can't phone a friend, you go beat a friend. You go stand at the nurse's station and you say, something is going wrong and I don't appreciate, I need to talk to somebody. Who's in charge? You are the consumer. Act like it. Don't let nobody treat you different. Don't let nobody blow you down. Let somebody blow some air on you. Stand up, stand tall, and go say, hey, hey, hey. You with me? Because somebody got to stand up. If you can't stand up for yourself, get somebody that can. But do not let people step on you. Good point. Thank you, thank you. Yes?
I want to make a suggestion. If you don't have somebody who can go with you when you get your healthcare provider, you need to ask to do what my pediatrician used to do to me as a nurse. He knew I was a nurse when I was, and he did it with all his patients. He would take your child on his lap, he would hand you a pad, and he'd say, Mommy, I want you to write down the things I want you to do till the next visit. And when you had to write it in your own handwriting, number one, you could read it. Number two, you were paying attention to what he said to you because you had to write it down. and you aren't distracted by your child because he was holding your child on his lap. And there's just not a lot of those people out there anymore, but I'm making a suggestion that you can turn around and say to the doctor, listen, I have this pad I need to write this down on. Slow down. I need to write down what you're telling me.
That's power in your voice. So escalate, everybody. Escalate, please. Find your voice and escalate it so that you get treated fair. That's the only way we're going to change how they treat us. Next person. One more person is back there. I'm taking it. Yes.
I
Okay.
just had a question about
Yes.
your program at Drexel, and you said the second biggest issue, of course, was behavioral health. So I just wanted to, for you to give us a little inkling on how you're grappling with that issue.
It's so painful. People are in pain. People are in pain all the time. And people mask that pain with drugs or alcohol or violence. All the stuff that people do to mask their pain. It's all because we are hurting. And so first thing we're doing is just to provide more services. And then the other thing to do is to talk about it. So we're trying to figure out ways to have conversations. So we have this thing, because if you're blue and don't know what to do, come talk to us. If you try, and so we're changing stuff in different ways and different words so that we can get at what there are. So we're working very hard on that. It's a new initiative, but mental health is substance abuse. Oh my God, the opioid thing, the heroin addiction, the homicides, the violence you see in the street, all of it's behavioral health. Anxiety disorders, you name it, we have it. And so just trying to mobilize that, and we're mobilizing teams to try to figure it all out together. So it ain't me alone, it's me and my people, because we phone a friend. Good questions. Ladies and gentlemen, I think I gotta go now, because I think he's standing up there. Oh, one more. Come on, you know you got it. You know you got it. Anybody?
Well, all righty then.
Thank you.
So we'd like to thank Dr. Jemmott for an amazing presentation, a great Q&A session. Thanks to all of you for taking your afternoon to come hear the presentation. It's not over. We have refreshments and music and an opportunity for you to talk with each other and Dr. Jemmott, and we'll bring you back together again at 3:30 to start the rest of the program. More to come. Thank you.